Mia, do you want to answer that one or you want to let your classmates answer it?
Let me classmates answer.
Okay. Connor, did anyone else have their hand up? I thought I saw Connor too. Connor, what does a small hand point to?
7.
It does. It's pointing at the 7. Do you know what that says? What does that tell us? What the small hand means? Is it the hour hand or the minute hand? Connor, what do you think?
Minute.
Ah, that's a good guess. It's actually the hour hand. So the way that my teacher taught it to me is that it's smaller. And because it's smaller, it goes slower. So if you think about an hour is a lot slower than a minute. So the way that I remembered when I was in 2nd grade is that my teacher was saying if it's smaller, it's going to move slower. So small means slow. The longer one is what Connor was telling me. The longer hand, I'm going to circle it right here. This one's longer. It's the minute hand, and minutes are a lot quicker. So if you think of someone who's running, if they have longer legs, they're going to maybe be able to run faster. So I used to think of the minute hand as the longer one to run faster. So Connor was right. The hour hand was pointing at the 7. So for this case, it's actually perfectly at the 7, and the minute hand is pointing where? What number is the minute, the longer one, pointing to? Mia, now I see your hand. Will you unmute, please?
12.
It is pointing at the 12. Does anyone know what the 12 tells us? The 12, it's not 7:12. It actually tells us something different. What does the 12 tell us about the time?
I still got my own.
Anthony, I see your hands up.
The minutes.
It does tell us the minutes. Do you know what is our clock reading? 7. What do you think? 7.
7 o'clock.
So the 12 is actually kind of sneaky. It's actually telling us 0. It's the beginning of the hour. So at the top, so at the very beginning of our hour. We'll talk a little bit more about this later. This is just, I wanted to start showing you time so we can kind of get little glimpses of it. But we will get deeper into that later. Skip counting. We've been practicing skip counting all week last week. We were counting on to 120, and we were also counting on the 100s chart. When we skip count, we try to find an efficient way to count. So we know we could count by ones, and it might not be very fast. It might take us a while. That's okay sometimes, but we're going to challenge our brain muscles and keep growing them. So we're going to keep practicing hard things like skip counting. So can someone skip count how many strawberries do you see in this 5 frame? I'm going to scroll until I see a hand. How many strawberries are in the 5 frame? Skip counting by 5s. Aaron, I see your hand. Or was that a stretch? Let me ask. It was a stretch. Would you like to try skip counting by 5s?
Sure.
Okay. So we have 5. And then we have 5.
10, 20, 30.
Ooh, I'm going to pause, Aaron, because what you started to do was really cool. You started to skip count by 10s. So we want to slow down and only go by 5s. So we want to go 5, 10, and then if I want to count my head, 10, 5 more is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15.
Yep.
20, 25.
There you go, 25. Awesome job, Aaron. I'm going to try to draw it, but my handwriting doesn't look very good on here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Will you all unmute? I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to hope all of you are unmuted. 1, 2, 3. Count it with me. 5,
5,
10,
10,
15,
15,
20,
20, 30,
25. Please, all of you press mute in 3, 2, 1. Now you should be remuted, meaning I cannot hear you. Thank you. All right, good job, Erin. We're gonna go over here and look at our 10 rods and our 1s. So last week, something that was important to me to remind you about as mathematicians is that when we think of numbers, we wanna think of the number as how many 1s are in this number. So if I gave you the example last week, I gave you the example 12. How many 12s are in the number, how many 1s are in the number 12? Well, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 1s in the number 12. So we could go through and count all of these unit cubes and figure out how many 1s are in this answer, in this number, or we can skip count. So we're gonna skip count our 10 rods first. So we're gonna count, and I'm gonna cross them off as we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I'm gonna write 70 on my paper so I can keep track of my thinking. And then I'm gonna count by 1s because I can't count by 10s anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna use Jonah's strategy. Jonah's strategy was to take the 2 numbers that we counted and to add them together. So he used this little down arrow, and I'm gonna add 70 plus 4. I'm gonna put my plus sign, my addition sign, and I'm gonna have 70 in my head, 71 on my fingers, 72, 73, 74. I'm counting on to 74, and I counted all of my 1s. So now my question to you is, mathematicians, how many 1s, how many unit cubes, 1 cubes, are in the number 74? How many 1s are in 74? Who can tell me? Anthony.
4.
So they're in the 1s digit. Yes, in the 1s digit, there are 4 1s and 7 10s. But if we think of that number, Anthony, as a whole, if we think of 74, if 74 is our number, how many 1 cubes are in this whole number? We could count them. We can count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many are there, Anthony? That's a lot of unit cubes. Look at my screen right here. Do you see all of these cubes? How many are there in total, Anthony?
Oh.
We just added them up.
74.
74, yeah. So we know that there are 74 1 cubes in that number. But we broke it up into 10s and then into the leftover 1s. So that's a tricky way of thinking about numbers, but that's kind of something that we need to start doing as second graders, is thinking about numbers as 1s and breaking them into 5s and into 10s, which fits really well with what we're going to be doing in a second. We're going to be looking at 10 frames and figuring out what does the number tell us. I lost my eraser. All right, last group of problems. Can someone tell me, if I have 4 and I add 4 more to it, how many do I have in total? I know Jaden liked to answer these questions, and so did Theo, but I'm wondering if I have any other mathematicians with their hands up feeling brave, like risk takers. Oh, I do see Jaden's hand. Okay, Jaden, if I have 4 of something and I add 4 more, how many do I have total?
How many do you have total?
8.
Good job.
I have 8. Good job. Team
Jason.
8
Thank you, Jaden.
Don't put
4
on my
4 more. Myself. I muted myself instead of you, Jaden. My bad. If I have 5 of something and I add 5 more, who can tell me how many do I have total? Let's see. If I have 5 plus 5 more, Mia.
10.
10. Good job. So last week, a strategy we were using was drawing pictures. If you want to draw pictures and then count them, that would be a good strategy for you. If I have 3, we're kind of doing doubles here. 3 plus 3 more. How many do I have in total? I'm going to use the finger strategy. If I have 3 on my fingers and I'm adding 3 more, how many do I have in total? If you want to look at my screen and count my fingers, That could be a strategy. for you. I see Messiah counting my fingers.
6.
Connor's gonna mute himself and I'm gonna call on a friend with their hand up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Messiah, how many fingers did I hold up?
You had 3, and you had another one 3.
Yes, I had 2 groups of 3.
3. So it's 6.
Good job. I love that you used my strategy and then you did that on your fingers as well. That's awesome. Thank you for being a risk taker. And the last one, if I have 2 in my head, I want to count on 2 more. So I'm going to count on Elena.
Miss Hartnagel.
Hang on 1 second. Elena? Oh, she's there.
It is 4.
It is 4. How did you know it was 4, Elena?
Because 2 and 2 equals 4.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. We're going to do a lot of explaining our thinking in math this year. So that's going to be an important skill for us to try to explain how did we know that those numbers added up to 4. All right, let's leave that. I want to show you really quick. First, I want to show you our assignment, and we're going to practice going into our assignment. I'm going to have to practice too, because sometimes I get lost. So I click onto my portal and I click into my Canvas button. This is a skill that we are going to have as second graders by the end of the week. We log into our name and you find my picture. It should say hi to you with a waving little emoji, or you can read the words that say Miss Hartnagel's second grade class. Once you see your picture, scroll down to the math button where you see addition, subtraction, multiplication, and an equal sign. Click on the button, scroll down until you see Monday, click on Monday. So this is our assignments for today. We're gonna go over math words and ideas in our investigations format. When you finish watching this video, you're gonna click back to Canvas. So I'm gonna show you how I do that, but I wanna explain that all of the words on this page are important to help you navigate our Canvas. Once we are done with this, you will have an independent practice. So I wanna show you what our practice is. We're gonna be practicing 10 frames and adding them together. So before I go over the lesson, I wanna show you this so that you can have in your mind, once we're done, this is what I'm gonna be expected to do. So this is important for me to notice. So we're gonna be practicing 10s and 1s. Let's see, it might load a second. Okay, so it is gonna have you add up, if you have 4 10s, so just like Anthony said, when I had the number 74, I had 7 10s and 4 1s, and I added them together and I got 74. If I have 4 10s, so if you look at my picture, if you look at my little square, you should be able to see me talking. I have 4 10 rods right here, they're green. And I add 9 unit cubes. How many do I have in total? So if I have 4 10s, I can skip count 10, 20, 30, 40. And I see Jonah with his hand up. Jonah, how many do I have with 4 10s and 9 1s?
You get 13.
So if I was to count them, if they were all just 1s, I would count 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on my hands. But actually, Jonah, look at these. These are 10 rods. So I have 4 10 rods. So can you help me skip count 10, 20,
20, 30,
30,
40.
40. Okay, now I need to count my 9s. So will you help me count on 41,
40, 41, 42,
42,
43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49.
49. So all together, I had 4 10s and 9 1s. Oop, I'm dropping them. How many did I have together, Jonah?
49.
49. I had 49 all together. Let's check it. Nice work. You got it. Onward. So once you get that question correct, you click the blue button that says next question, and then it'll show you in a different format. How many blocks are there? So and then right here, guys, there's a little thing that says stuck. Watch a video or use a hint. So if you want to watch this video, this will help you remember what it is you need to do to solve this problem. So we're going to skip count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then I count on 51, 52, 53. So this is a little tricky. Check. Awesome, I got it right again. Okay, I'm going to go back. So now you see what is expected of you, and now I want you to watch how we are going to look at 10 frames. So this is going to show us all the different 10 frames. I'm just going to click through this.
Numbers 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Thumbs up if you've ever seen a 10 frame before. So it's 10 squares like this, and sometimes your teachers will put like red dots or yellow dots or other color dots inside of them. Okay, I see a lot of you maybe did this in first grade. So this is a way for us to easily see how many numbers are in the 10 frame, right? If there's just one and we know that there are 10 boxes, we can see one, the number is 1. One of them is colored in. If I look at, let's go back. If I look at this one, I'm going to cover up the answer so I can't see it. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10 are shown to me. Let's go. We're going to look at adding them.
Numbers 10 to 19. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
So we know that if we have a 10 frame in our heads, it's just like keeping a 10 rod. We can count that and then count on and start to see how our numbers grow. So we can keep counting on with our 10 frames and keeping them in our heads, adding on. So now we have 20 plus whatever we see in the 10 frame, 30 plus whatever we see in the 10 frames, which would be our units, our ones. So we keep track of our 10s, and then we can count our ones. Just like Jonah and I did, where we kept track of our 10s, we counted 10, 20, 30, 40, and then we counted on 9 more. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you. We can do that with 40s. We can do that with 50s. We can go all the way up to 100. If we keep track of 110 rods, we can then count our ones units as well. All the way up to 120. All right, let's practice it. Can someone give me a number to write? And then we can practice using a 10 frame with that number. Who's got a number for me? Maybe it's a tricky number. I'm gonna look and see if any mathematicians wanna pick a number for us to try. Theo, yeah, what number should we try?
80.
80, okay. Let's try 80. What should I do first? I'm gonna ask another mathematician, how do I start to count 80? What should I do? So if I drag these will move, and this will move. But what do I need? How do I count all the way up to 80? What's the most efficient way to do it? Let's see. Anthony, I see your hand up.
To count by tens.
To count by 10. So let's move our 10 rods that are already full into our square. So if you would like to unmute and count with me, this is good practice as mathematicians. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Am I done? Thumbs up if I'm done, or thumbs down if I need to keep going. What do you think? Am I done? Did I count them all? Or do I need to keep going? I'm gonna look and see who voted. How did they vote? Oh, Elena's telling me, no, I need to keep going. So I'm gonna go back because I lost track. And sometimes mathematicians have to go back and recount. So I'm gonna put my little mouse on it when I count them. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I need one more, 80. I counted 80 10 frames, and it was so much more efficient. It was a lot faster than counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? That's not as efficient. It's going to take me longer. All right, let's start over and try one more time. Who can give me another number that I can use? Maybe, can you make it hard where I need some ones units too? Who can give me a hard number that's going to really challenge my brain to grow? Because we talk a lot about how our brain is a muscle, and the only way my muscle is going to grow is if I practice using it a lot. So I see Anthony, and you know what? I appreciate that you're the one that's raising your hand, so I'm going to call on you. Thank you. Will you tell us what's the number, Anthony, that you think we should try?
99. I mean,
Oh, 99. All right. All right, who can tell me, how do I start? What do I do first? How can I get all the way up to 99? Should I start counting like this? Here's my frame. Here's 1. Here's 2. 3. Is that what I should do, or is that efficient? Thumbs up. Is that going to get me there really quickly, or no? Is that not going to get me there very quickly? Oh, I see a lot of thumbs down. Okay, so I'm going to start over because I want to be efficient. Start over. What can I do then? You didn't answer me. How do you help me? Jonah, what should I do? Oh, Theo has his hand up. Theo, what should I do? Oops, you muted yourself. There we go.
Count by tens.
Yeah, let's skip count by 10. So I'm going to put 10. And if you want to count with me, you can unmute. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, and then 100. I'm done, right?
No.
Connor, what do I need to do?
You take that 10 back and then you add a 9 instead.
Okay, so I need to take back my 10 frame, and let me add an empty 10 frame, and then I need to add 9 ones. So this is my ones place value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you, Connor. So I added 9 ones units, 9 more to my 99, and I had this. So this is what I had, friends. I had 90, and this is Jonah's strategy, plus 9. And when I added them all together, I got 99. So I had 9 10s and 9 ones. All right, I'm going to go back.
She was just annoying.
So since I finished that portion of my math assignment, I'm going to go back and do my practice. I want you to practice going through it at least one time. So go through all the questions one time. When you're finished with that, you're going to do 1 lesson of Dreambox. So by Friday, you should have 5 lessons of Dreambox complete for the whole week. Okay? I wanted to show you this silly song that helps us think about 10 frames. So I'm just going to play a few minutes of it to just kind of help our brains remember what a 10 frame will look like.
Last Monday in my classroom, we played a cool new game. Now I'll show you what it was. It was a cool dance frame. It has a top and bottom. It has 10 colored dots. And it's so cool to count them. It really teaches lots. My dance frame has rows of 5, so won't you help me count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spots in each row, and 5 plus 5 is 10. That's right. Come on, everybody, do the dance frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward. Come on, everybody, do the dance frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps back. Come on, everybody, do the dance frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top on our cool dance frame. My teacher put on counters, red counters we could count. She challenged us to count the right amount. She turned the 10 frame backwards, so none of us could see. She told us that she'd added one. How many could there be? Counters on my 10 frame goal. Now won't you help me count them? One row, that's a 5, 6, 8, space. One row, that's a 5, and 5 plus 1 is 6. That's right. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps back. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. Last Wednesday in my classroom, we played a cool new game. And now I'll show you what we did on our cool dance frame. My teacher put on counters, red counters we could count. She challenged us to count the right amount. She turned the 10 frame backwards, so none of us could see. She told us that she'd added 2. How many could there be? Counters on my 10 frame goal. Now won't you help me count them? One row, that's a 5, 6, 7, space. One row, that's a 5, and 5 plus 2 is 7. That's right. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps back. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top. Come on, everybody, do the 10 frame dance. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. Last Thursday in my classroom.
Okay, so that was just a helpful way for us to remember. Oops, I have 2 more joining us right now. For us to remember that when we use a 10 frame, we know that there are 10 spaces, and the 10 spaces show us 10 counters. So I have some in front of me. So if I had all these counters on my 10 frame, I would have 10 numbers. And once I have those 10 numbers, I can put them in my mind as a 10 rod, and I kind of can move them over. So then when I start my next 10 frame, I can keep counting and keep moving my 10s over and thinking of them as 10s and 1s to separate the numbers. So you're going to practice thinking about how many 10s are there and how many 1s are there. And then when we combine them, like Jonah showed us, we add them together, we can get our total number of 1s or of squares, right, of counters. Does anyone have a question about what they're going to do when we leave math today and we get on to our Canvas and go through playing the game and doing Dreambox? Anyone have a question about that? Hi, Paris. Welcome to 2nd grade. It's nice to see you. Okay, we are going to log off. I'm going to ask a few people to stay so that we can work together. So I need Paris to stay. Anthony has a question. I'm sorry, Anthony, I didn't see your hand. Really quick. Let's unmute you first. Yes. Oops, you're still muted. There we go.
I saw a pattern in the last math question.
You did? What was the pattern?
You can count by 2s to get to every one.
You can. So if you use your 10 frame, you can count by 2s. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if on our 10 frame, we can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we could get to it really efficiently, right? Or we could break it into 5 and 5 and count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, right? That's
Ms.
awesome.
Hartnagel,
Yes.
he's the last problem that you did at the beginning of the class.
Oh, so do you mean when we were doing the addition problems, the pattern was, yes, okay, that was also a pattern. I love that you guys are making connections to all of this. This is awesome. Thank you for sharing, Anthony. Okay, so I need Messiah to stay. I need Paris to stay. And I need Elena to stay. The rest of you can get started on your math for today, okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow Oh, wait, one thing before you log off. Sorry if you already did. We do have writing today. So if you go to our writing page in your writer's notebook, and I will send your parents an email, but we are going to start practicing writing. And it's just going to connect to Bread, 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 the story we read in reading. And there's going to just be a little prompt, meaning it's going to be a question I'm going to ask you to write about. And I'm not taking it as a grade. I just want you to start practicing doing writing every day. So after lunch, sometime today, you can sit down and look at our writing prompt, and you can take a few minutes to write it on some paper, or if you have a notebook that you can use, and you can call that your writer's notebook. I will send all this to your parents in an email, but we're going to start practicing some more writing, and that's going to be how we're doing it. We're going to try and see if everyone can have a writer's notebook, and every day after lunch, you can do a little bit of writing, okay? But the rest of you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I just need Paris, Elena, and Messiah.